today we continue with the Diamond Sutra, chapter 17. And last time we stopped at chapter 16, and we're talking about the four causes according to Madhyamaka Karika. Talking about the mind, we know that our body it's subject to life and death, and everything is. Even our thought. A thought comes out, may sustain for a while, and then it slowly disappears. Every thought is like this, coming, maintaining, and going. Everything is like that. Even a dust particle. Everything that has life, everything that doesn't have life, or sentient beings or non-sentient beings, they all are subject to life and death, reincarnation. Even the thoughts. So when we're meditating, every thought is coming, going, or rising, perishing in an extremely fast way. It comes and goes so fast that we may not even notice it. People who practice meditation, they practice on watching their thought as a third person. We always watch our thoughts. That's called mindfulness. We're very mindful of our thought, because thought is the forerunner of all actions and speech, and because of that thought you carry it out into action. So if you are careful, mindful with your thought, then you know what you're doing. If every moment you're mindful of your thought and you are on the right path, if you're mindful of your thought but you're not on the right path, for example, your lack of morality standard, you are selfish, and you may be committing crime, and if you're very thoughtful, very mindful, then you're doing it the wrong way. But if you are walking on the right path, the path of enlightenment, and you're watching your thought, you're being mindful of your thought, then you're walking that path very smoothly. Meditation is to help us to watch our thoughts, or we call it mindfulness. By the way, how does a thought come into being? What caused a thought? What are the causes? What caused a thought to come and go and sustain? According to Madhyamaka Karika, Madyamika, Madhyamaka Karika of Nagarjuna, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, about 500 years after Buddha passed away, about 500 years. Some people said it's about 400. Nagarjuna wrote the Karika, Madhyamaka Karika. And it says in there are four causes for anything to come into being. For anything to happen, there are four causes. Or for anything not happening, there are four causes. The first one is the direct cause, the main cause, the direct cause, and the direct cause. The second one is the immediately preceding cause. And the third is the object as a cause. The fourth is the precipitating cause. Let us take an example. Say we're meditating and we want an object of concentration. In the beginning of the session, our object of concentration for the samatha, it's the breath, the in and out breath. Let's take a different example. If we want the object of concentration to be the Buddha's image, the image of a Buddha or Bodhisattva, let's take that example. We like to have an image of the Bodhisattva in our thought. You can use any kind of object for concentration, for meditation. Say that if you take an image of the Bodhisattva, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, for example, with 1,000 hands and eyes, and that intention comes up. For the sake of analyzing the identity of causes, we call it the main cause. Your intention, that's the main cause. Your intention is to meditate on the image of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Say that's your main cause. But actually, it's very difficult to identify the main cause. But for the sake of brevity, then we say this is the main cause. You want to have that image. If we trace each cause, there is no end to it. One cause leads to another cause, leads to another cause. What's the cause of you coming to meditation, to this temple? Many, many causes. But let's say there is one very inferential cause. That's the main cause. The fact that you are coming now for meditation is because you live in Richmond. It's because somebody introduced this temple to you. It's because you're interested in Buddhism. It's because something happened in your family and you want to find out more about life. And there's another cause. There's so many causes. Well, I want to learn meditation. I want to be mindful. Another cause. So many causes, but the first cause we say the most inferential one. It's difficult to trace. So some people would say, what's the first cause? Endless causes. There's no beginning, no end. One lead to another, one lead to another. When you draw a circle, where's the beginning? It's round. Where's the beginning? Where's the end? The ending is the beginning and the ending. So if you trace one particular cause, you simply can't. So complex, billions of causes put together. We can trace it back even to you were born as a human in here. That's why you come to this temple. If you are in another realm, you can't come to this temple. There's another cause. But for the sake of identifying causes, for all things, if you have that in mind, then you know what caused something. Let's say that is maybe one most inferential. We say the main cause. What is this immediately preceding cause, which is the second cause we're talking about? That is the thought before your thought of forming such an image. A preceding thought has to go for the present thought to arise and take its place. Now, for example, you visualize this image. Now it's just a rough image. Now I visualize the hands. So that rough image has to go for this visualizing the hand to take over. So there's a preceding moment that has to go before this can come in. The disappearance of the mental activity of the first moment is regarded as the cause for the happening of the next moment, for the appearance of that of the second moment. You may not notice this, but it's one thought after another, after another. There must be a preceding, an immediately preceding thought to allow the second one to come over. And when you're sitting and you're thinking, you just daydreaming and you dream one thought after another. But that first moment thought must have to go before the second comes up. And it's just like when we look at the light, we see it seems that the light is constantly shining on us. But some scientists told me that actually it's appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, but it continues so fast that you think it's one. You think it never disappears, it's always shining. It also conforms to the truth that arising, disintegrating, being born and die, and maintaining itself and then disintegrate is the same thing. So the immediately preceding thought makes way for the second thought to come over. So when you're meditating on the image of the Bodhisattva statue, you form that rough image. Only you have to add on, here are the hands, and then here are the eyes, the nose, the lip, the body. Then it has to build up that image. So that is the immediately preceding thought. Then in your mind, an object or images form. We call it the object as the cause. That the object is the third cause, is the object as the cause. Since the object present in the preceding moment becomes the cause of the mental activity for functioning. When you visualize the image, it does not come to you suddenly with all its features. You think about the general outline of the image, the whole body in the sitting position. That is only a awake image. Then you continue your thought. You think all about face and all that. That is the object. How about the fourth cause? The fourth cause is the precipitating cause. It refers to all other causes except those just mentioned earlier, except the first three, that are effective to produce or not to hinder the existence of the image. So for example, you're coming for meditation. Just identify that little section, that little thought of coming for meditation. What are the precipitating causes that make you come to this meditation? Your car didn't break down. Your family members allow you to come, or there's many, many causes that help you to come here. Those are the precipitating causes. Or there are many, many causes that help you to prevent you from coming. So your car broke down on the road. All these precipitating causes stop you from coming. So the fact that you successfully come for meditation is the fulfillment of four causes. Do you see the value of everything? Do you see why we treasure everything? Whatever you suffer, there are also causes too. Whatever you enjoy also causes. So those are the precipitating causes. The immediately preceding cause and relates to time. Because one thought has to go before another thought comes up. You may not notice it. It's the time, it relates to the time. The object as the cause relates to space. Because in your mind you form that space, that spatial image. The direct cause and the precipitating causes relates to both time and space. So actually every thought works in time and space. If we watch every thought, it works wonder for you. Because if you watch every thought and you know what is right and wrong, you always would do the right thing. You wouldn't do the wrong thing. In this life, if you're always meditating, always be mindful, you can easily achieve the Saini path. You can be the Sotapanna. Because you rid yourself of that ego. You know it's not good to be egoistic, so every thought of the ego comes up, you watched it, you're mindful of it, you know it. Then you don't allow yourself to be egoistic. When a thought of anger comes up, there must be a main cause for it. There must be an immediately preceding cause. You were not angry before. You were peaceful. And you see the disappearance of this peacefulness replaced by the anger. That is the immediately preceding cause. Make way for the second. The immediately preceding cause, or the thought, make way for the second thought to come up. And then there's, of course, the object cause and all the precipitating causes. All these, only four categories of causes for the happening or the lack of happening of something. There's no fifth categories. Because the precipitating causes include all that help or the all that do not help to make things come true or to make things disappear. As I said, what are the causes for you coming this morning for the meditation? There are these four, the presence of these four causes. So we're mindful of every thought. You gear every thought to the right path. We call it mindfulness. If you always train yourself, when anger comes up, you know, oh, this is anger. There's a main cause for it. There's an immediate preceding cause. And now, the precipitating causes that make me angry. So I should watch this. You don't allow this to overcome you. It's difficult. Because usually we don't watch our thought. When anger comes up, we just be angry. We shout, we yell, we cry. We just reacted by emotion. When you train yourself that way, you won't react to things emotionally. Your mind is at peace. But it's difficult. Who says it's easy? It's extremely difficult. A lot of saints, a lot of bodhisattvas achieve it, and we'll be out of samsara if we finally purify our karma by this mindfulness training. Anyway, let's carry on with chapter 16, and he continues, Supudi, if a virtuous man or woman receives, hold in mind, reads and recites this sutra, and is despised by others, this person, who is bound to suffer from evil destinies in retribution for his past sins, and whose karmic sins are now eradicated by the others' contempt, will attain supreme enlightenment. Here, despised does not mean being ridiculed or contemptuously treated by others. It means in this life, because of my karmic energy last time, which is bad karma, I always take a low position in the society because of karma. For example, in the ancient times, being a slave, for example, or in the modern times, taking always a low position, a low menial job, or maybe I'm always unemployed, and I'm always poor and always despised by my friends and relatives and all that. It's not because it's because of our own karma. Because our own is not a supernatural being who bestowed me on this mishap. It's because of our own karma. Of course, it's not right to despise others because of their job, but here that means if in retribution for your past karma, you suffer from a low position, but if you read, recite, and understand this sutra and practiced it, then all these karmic sins will slowly be eliminated. And you will slowly work towards supreme enlightenment because of your understanding of the truth that contains in here. Next paragraph, next page. Subhudiya, remember that in the past countless eons before the advent of Dipankara Buddha, I met 84,000 millions of Buddhas to whom I make offerings and whom I serve flawlessly. But let's read the next paragraph too so that we understand. Now, if in the last period of 500 years in the Buddha Kalpa, someone is able to receive, hold in mind, read and recite this sutra, his merits will far exceed mine, which resulted from my offerings made to Buddhas. For mine cannot be reckoned as 100, 1,000, 110,000, or 100,000 part thereof. No computation or comparison is possible. Now, it simply means that in the countless eons of past lives, the Buddha offered to millions of Buddhas before. In many, many previous lives, Buddha Sakyamuni, who was the prince, Siddhartha, he already, in many, many of his previous lives, he made offerings to countless. It's 84,000, it's just say countless, 84,000 millions of Buddhas. He made offerings. Now, if you make offerings to Buddha, there's a lot of merits accrue from making the offerings. And the Buddha said, if in the last period in the Buddha's Kalpa, someone is able to receive this sutra, to hold this sutra in mind, understand it, explain the sutra to others, and practice according to this sutra, his merits will be much more than the merits I, the Buddha, make to making offerings to all the millions of Buddhas. But why 500 years? Remember when we talk about why did the Buddha mention within 500 years? What is the significance of this time frame? I remember I mentioned before. Why not 400 years, 800 years? Here we have to understand the prediction of the Buddha on the rise and fall of his teaching. Everything is subject to cycle of becoming, ending, rising and falling, right? Arising and disintegrating. Even the Buddha teaching is like that. It's logical. If the Buddha said everything is coming and going, that should include the Buddha's teaching too. The Buddha's teaching is coming and going. It's a cycle. It's coming, arising, maintaining, falling, and all that. The Dharma has a cycle of 3 periods: arising, maintaining, and perishing. Now, there's 3 periods. The first period is the actual Dharma period for 1,000 years. For the first 500 years after the Buddha Sakyamuni passed away, within the next 500 years, there were still many followers who achieved liberation through practice. The first period is called the actual Dharma period for 1,000 years. When the Buddha passed away, the first 500, there are other people who achieve liberation, who achieve emancipation from the practice. And then in the second 500 years, few followers could achieve liberation through their own practice. But a lot practiced meditation successfully. They were successful, but very few achieved emancipation, liberation. And then there's the second period, which is the resembling Dharma period for another 1,000 years. Then the third period, the Dharma ending period for 10,000 years. And right now we are at the Dharma ending period, because the Buddha was born 2,600 years ago. The first 1,000 is the actual Dharma period. The second 1,000 is the resembling Dharma. Resembling Dharma means that it is still effective, resembling the actual Dharma. And then the third period is the Dharma ending period, 10,000. So 2,000 years have passed away, 600 years already. So we are at the beginning of the 10,000 Dharma ending period. So we still have Buddhist teaching. But more and more, the Buddhist teaching will disappear, no more, because it's the ending period. So it says here, in the ending period, the last 500 years, if the sutra still exists, then people who follow the practice, recite it and understand it, a lot of merits will accrue to him. And the merits will be more than I, the Buddha, it says it here, make offerings to millions of Buddhas. Next paragraph. Subhuti, in the last period of the Buddha Kalpa, if a virtuous man or woman is able to receive, hold in mind, fully understand it, read and recite this sutra, my full statement of this person's merits will create derangement, doubt, and disbelief in the minds of all listeners. What does it mean? It means that the merits so accrued that arise, if the Buddha explain it, it may make people disbelieve. They may think that it is impossible. So it may create derangement, doubt, and disbelief in the minds of all listeners, because it's inconceivable. Or some people say it's unbelievable, impossible. So the Buddha said, if the Buddha have to make a full statement of the merits, to some people, it may create derangement, doubt, and disbelief, because it's so inconceivable, so great, so much. So that's what it means. We create derangement, doubt, and disbelief because it's so immeasurable, so countless, so inconceivable are the merits that people would just be astounded by it. Last paragraph. Subhuti, you should know that as the meaning of this sutra is inconceivable, so is the fruit of its reward. The meaning of this sutra is inconceivable. So you will have a lot of reward for understanding it, reciting it, fully explain it to others, and practice according to this sutra. But you really have to understand the sutra first. Okay, that ends this session, and we'll continue next time.